Well, hello my friends. Today's video is going to be making this vase from, you guessed it, sea grape. But I have one piece that really doesn't have any one great possibility, but it has lots of possibilities. And that's the one that I'm leaning towards. So let me bring the camera around. So here's a stump that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stub outs from the main tree. Now I've been looking at this for a little while. I looked at it yesterday, and yesterday that's the set that I was going with. That's what I could visualize, and it was, my mind was not going any further with it. And I really am unsure of the piece. Well, this morning, looking at it, I realized, okay, there's another possibility that I wasn't taking into account, and that would be to cut this on the bandsaw straight down this valley right here, okay, and leaving me with this piece like this, taking it to the bandsaw, cutting it somewhat flat, doesn't have to be perfectly flat, but somewhat flat on the top over here, and I think that this would also create an awesome looking vase. Once I would start chewing up the inside, going up to whichever point I would find that would be the most interesting, so grabbing it all the way from out here to this inside piece over here. This one in the back would disappear completely, but as long as I could maintain this bark on this point here, then I think it would create a very nice vase. So that's the direction I'm going to try. It's a very odd piece. I don't even know if it's going to work. I don't know, once I have all of this and I start hollowing up the inside, if it's going to hit me the right points. I would hate very much for me to come up and decide, oh, this flat piece has to show if I'm going to maintain that. And if that's the case, that's not going to be a good looking piece. So it will ruin this piece if I have to go any further than this, because this will be a saw cut. So that's the dilemma that I'm faced with, but that's the area I'm going to be shooting with. So I'm going to bring it to the bandsaw. I'm going to cut this piece right off, take this off to the side, chew off the bottom, chew up the top, and mount it. Now, I'm only showing stuff that works with a particular piece that I have at hand. I know you're not going to have this piece. So what I might be showing you might not be fair to give you a good understanding of what you do with your own piece. But hopefully it gives you an idea of what I might be looking at, what I'm seeing when I'm doing a piece. Now, to assure that I come up to the bottom of this as much as I can and maintain this piece has to project, has to be offset on the lathe as the furthest point. Other words, it has to be one of the highest points of this vase when it starts shaping. When it starts shaping to whatever it wants to do, this has to be the highest point. So it will knock off from here. It will knock off plenty from this nub over here. So I have to balance it off. And I'm going to take a wild shot at this as this, right about here. Nope, I have to go way low on this one and this one. So I have 2 points that I can balance off because that's the low point and I'm almost equally on this side over here. So this part will be balanced off and I will be coming off to this side. So I maintain this as the highest point and not this. This I can go down a little bit. It has room, it has bark. I have a lot of play here. I don't have play here or here for that matter. And definitely no play whatsoever here. So the thickness of this thing can only be as thick as I got bark right over here. So from here on down, it has to start shaping to the shape of the vase that I want. So back to the lathe and let's see what we got. I still have a good center here and I can start taking some of this away. Now like I said, the goal is to make a tenon here to go into my jaws, but I can, while I'm in between centers, I can remove some of this bulk and make this somewhat round. So now that's better. All I want is to make sure that the shoulder on this area back here sits nice and flat against my jaws. And that looks good. Now I gotta get a nice tight grip on this because this is going to be free most of the time. Now by doing this, I can bring my tool inside there and it will make things a lot easier. Going from here out and doing pull cuts, it's somewhat like doing spindle turning. You're cutting from the inside, a little harder than that, but you are working with the same principle. You are cutting just edge of grain. If you go this way, you're really getting beat up because you are cutting against the grain and all solid grain. So by making that hole, it assists you a great deal, and I'll be able to see exactly what's going to establish out of this piece. Well, at this point, I have done a little work kind of shaping the vase. I am not going to be able to keep all bark edges all the way around. This area, and I think that's fine. You know, I'm not going to worry too much about it. Had that stump over here, which has a lot of rot, goes all the way through. Now, I put some CA going through here to make sure that I maintain this look and it doesn't come off and I end up with just the clean look of the wood. I did that here and here. So this look is going to stay with the dark colored. Unfortunately over here, this is an area that's a little bit of a problem to me, so I'll probably get a piece of bark from there and cut this up straight and put a piece in here and shape it up to the rest of the bowl. This area, by the time, this is that big stump that was here, the biggest one. By the time I can clear this up, I will end up with just that little tiny edge, and it would only give me a small edge going up on this, would be too thin to be able to maintain it. So this is about the thickness that I'm going to maintain it at the top edge. So I will just refine these areas. I want to take off just a little bit, maybe to, and I'll see, maybe to take off this piece, which would also hit this one over here. It will bring this one down a little bit more. So actually I'm going to probably leave this alone. I'll leave this, and this area over here the way it is. And I think that's fine. Working on the inside is still quite a bit of a battle. It's hard turning in here. And I'm just going to keep it going. I'm just going to clean up this area a little bit more than what I got. I'll see what happens over here, but I'm not too concerned with that. But work this area and keep going in before I finalize the outside shape. Right now the I'm bottomed out on my Jacob's chuck in there. The thickness is good. The finish, the surface, the cuts are pretty nice. This wood cuts pretty good. It's the only limitations are really my tools at this point. Not bad, just a couple of light tool marks over here on this area right here. I must have bounced a little bit with the tool coming out when I was doing the shear scraping, so it gave me that little bit of a triple bounce, but very light, so easy for sandpaper to get out, and it's a matter of going in there a little bit deeper. And I will see if my bowl gouge, my 3/4 inch bowl gouge, will work for me a little bit better in this situation. Damn it. Wow, what a nasty catch that was. Split the bowl almost all the way down. Time for some CA to go in there and do its magic. I'll be able to salvage this one, but I just ruined what I was working on. This will not be the same anymore. Yeah, gotta watch these flying edges all the time. I'm going to get a quick clamp and pull this together as tight as I can to hold that. Got it almost gone. But I'm at a 1/4 inch thickness here. That's pushing it a little bit on this type of a vase. Just gonna clean up this top a little bit to maintain that same thickness, and I'm gonna leave that and just clean it up with sandpaper. Well, with this one, I wanted to create something a little bit different down here. So I created a bead and separated the vase from this space with that bead, and then just went in there with a small gouge and worked these lines rather than going something that would be random. That gave me somewhat of a controlled look, and the base can stay a little bit cleaner. And I'm going to be parting this out right about this area, or I'll just round this over. Well, I don't know if I want to keep any bark over here, so I'll end up cutting this all the way off and just cleaning that up. Well, time to sanding sealer. So, here it is. Grape Vase 2. See you soon. Thank you. And please subscribe. Hit that like button. And most important, leave a comment.